Hi parents, so I wanted to make a no frills, no jokes, serious video about something that's been so heavy on my heart. It's like a burden, a weight on my shoulders, and I've been trying to suppress it, ignore it, say, oh, but actually, I've decided that I just need to share this with parents, and I hope that you share this with other parents because it's quite an important message. It's about African parenting. It's about what we consider to be African parenting. It's about what's being portrayed as African parenting. It bothers me so much. I've never been able to laugh at any of those jokes. There's so many jokes out there about African parenting being aggressive. In some ways, it's actually quite abusive if you look at what people put out there and laugh about. Quite hard and harsh, and that's what we describe African parenting to be. That's there's nothing African about that. And what bothers me is the fact that we continue to normalize it and make jokes about it. I do understand that, a lot of African parents have, used this kind of aggressive behavior. I don't know what the percentage is, but people seem to talk about it as if it's normal. You hear so many people talk about, oh, my parents beat me. They had a special cane for each of us. And this is just how they discipline. And, people just think that that's normal behavior. My problem is the fact that none of us is stopping to say, hold on, I know that this is what our parents may have done, but it's not actually funny. And we can't carry it on. It really baffles me when people will, put messages out there and act like this is just how we do it, and we're laughing. And like, guys, I don't know if you understand the implication of this. Like, when you think about it, treating children in that kind of way, whether it was done by your parents or the parents before, treating children that way has never yielded any kind of positive outcome. When this child is born with that special, unique thing inside of them that they're waiting to present to the world, and they are treated aggressively when they make mistakes, when they are struggling with their learning, God, when they get something wrong, or when they do something wrong, or when they don't know something that you want them to know, and they are met with that kind of aggressive behavior, very quickly you teach them to suppress the greatness inside of them because they do not know what's going to yield that kind of aggressive behavior. Right? You might be saying that you were hit by your parents, but you turned out okay. That's a load of rubbish. I'm not going to go there. But the fact is, don't measure the impact of that kind of behavior, that kind of upbringing, by how it affected you. I want you to look at the people in our country, people in our nation. If this is the way that people are raised on average, on average is that kind of thing where, you can be hit quite quickly, whether it's in school or at home, that kind of behavior, then what kind of people do you think are growing out of our nation, Africa? What kind of people are growing out of it? There's so many brilliant minds, beautiful people. I most of my friends are African, if I'm honest with you, and I have so many wonderful, wonderful people, and you know them as well. But the fact of the matter is, it's very difficult for people to really step forward, come out and be who they were born to be, when from home, from a young age, they have been treated with this aggressive type of behavior when they get something wrong. So there's a problem there in the way we are describing African parenting to be. If that's the case, we should not be laughing about it. We must be doing something to change it. Now, I'm not asking anybody to feel guilty about the way they are parenting. Now, if that's what you're doing, if you use the cane or whatever it is to hit your kids when they're wrong, don't feel guilty. Let's just come together and make a change, because we cannot continue this way. There is no good thing that's going to come out of that kind of thing. And if you look around in our nation, we can build bridges, we can sort out NEPA if that's the situation. But the fact of the matter is, if the people are still being treated in this way from childhood, then we still don't get the best. And the human capital is the most important thing to develop any nation. And if the people are broken in some ways because of this upbringing, we still don't get the best. So many people are having to work on themselves as adults because of the damaging effects of being raised in a situation where you are fearful, where you're afraid to step out and take new opportunities, where you're reluctant to try new things out, where you're reluctant to express yourself. Listen, These are the issues. And if this is how we're raising children on the whole, then we need to stop and think about it. I'm going to ask you this question. This is something that bothers me a lot, actually. Where did it come from? So you might say, oh, this is the way my parents did it, so this is how I learned. And I perfectly understand that. And I'm happy to work with you. We can learn better ways because there's so many better ways. But I get that. I understand that, you may have learned it from your parents. But I'm going to ask you, where did your parents pick it up from? Probably their parents. Okay, let's go back. Where did their parents pick it up from? Let's keep going back. Do you not realize that this is how the slave trade was? This is how people were treated during the slave trade. Do you not realize that using the whip to get people to respond to you was normal behavior more than the whip? Other objects? Do you not realize this? And this is why it passes down. And my problem is this, not the fact that we're thinking, oh my goodness, we have inherited and kept on to this negative way of getting people to respond, and we're using it for our children, rather than stopping and saying that we are laughing. Oh God, I don't want to. Rather than saying, oh, this is something that we inherited from the slave trade and we don't like it, we don't want to do it to our children, help me. We are laughing, we're making jokes, we're making reels, we're making videos, African parenting. Oh, when you get a sunrise, they slap you, they beat you. And oh God, it just annoys me so much, because we cannot continue to treat our children that way and think that our nation will rise. We talk about Africa Unite. Let's unite in our parenting, because it starts from the home. How the people turn out in the end starts from the home. Africa Unite, and let's relabel what African parenting is, because this is not acceptable. I will not accept that this is African parenting. I know too many brilliant, lovely, happy, I'm African myself, and there are too many people like me, and we don't believe that this is right. Whether we're doing it or not, whether people are doing it or not, the point is we don't accept this as normal. I don't think it's funny, and it's not normal. I will not accept that this is African parenting. I want us to relabel, rename the way we parent. It's loving, it's caring, because we care about the people that we are raising. We care about our country enough. You see, the thing is, when we do this in the home, the children go to school, similar thing, they go to work, you come late to work, I cut your salary. Everywhere you go is this draconian whipping in some kind of way. Everywhere you go on the streets, the police, everywhere you continue to get this brutal treatment as normal. I understand what people say, oh, we have to laugh about it, what are we going to do? Are we going to kill ourselves? But quite frankly, we can start speaking up against it. We can start acting differently. We can start deciding that actually it's not okay. We can start doing differently. We can start learning how to do differently. We cannot keep laughing about it and thinking it's funny. Every time I have people around me that think it's a joke to be laughed at, I just think, oh my goodness, there's no change here. We're not going to change anything. I want people to be shocked when they hear that children are being slapped and beaten for whatever issue, whatever thing it is. That should be abnormal. It shouldn't be normal. It shouldn't be funny. It shouldn't be shared on social media. It shouldn't be acceptable. If that's what anybody is doing, there are other ways. I'm here to help. There are many other people who are here to help. But the first thing comes from you, for you to decide that it's not okay. Right. Share this. Share this with, other African parents, because the fact of the matter is, we're the ones who are portraying ourselves in that way, and it's not acceptable. It's not any other person doing it to us. And I keep saying to people, if this is how we want to portray ourselves, why do we expect better treatment from any other race? Why? We can do better. We're too lovely. Right, okay, I'll leave it here. Thank you.